Welcome to our video on completing the PST return. This video is meant to be used in addition to the guide to completing the PST return and not as a replacement. The guide is available on our website. In this video, we'll be showing you screenshots of the PST return and going through the form step by step in the same order that you would fill out your form. You can use this video as you fill out your PST return by watching the first step, pausing the video, then inputting your information in your return as outlined, then hit play again and view the next step. In this video, we're going to cover calculating total sales and leases, commission on PST, calculating the net PST due, self-assessing PST due, adjustments to the PST return, and finally, amending your PST return. Note that we're going to be showing the eTaxBC version of the PST return. And while the content is applicable to the paper return as well, the paper return will ask for a lot more information that is generally automatically filled out for you in the eTaxBC version. To begin, indicate if your return is a nil return or not by choosing yes or no. If you have no sales, no self-assessed PST, and no PST collected for the reporting period, you still need to file a return letting us know that. This is called a nil return. So if you're filing a nil return, simply select yes at this step. This yes or no question is not on the paper return. You will have to manually complete the entire return, even though you're filing a nil return. Step 1 on the form is to enter your total sales and leases, excluding PST and GST. Note, if you're completing the paper return, before you get to this step, you will have to enter additional business information that eTaxBC populates automatically. For box A in step 1, you include the amount of all the sales you made in Canada only in your reporting period, whether they were taxable sales or not. It does not matter if you sold some goods or services that are non-taxable, you need to include all of your Canadian sales. The only sales that you would exclude would be sales made through an online marketplace facilitator, which means if someone else sold your goods for you on their online platform and then collected the money before sending it to you, you would not include those sales. The online facilitator will be including those sales on their own PST return. Step 2 is PST collectible on sales and leases. This is the net PST due, which includes PST collectible minus commission. For box B, you'll need to enter the total amount of PST collectible on all taxable sales and leases that you made. Please report all the PST you charge in this reporting period, even if you have not collected it yet from the purchaser. This amount will be less than the amount you entered in box A. And again, if an online marketplace facilitator sold your goods or services for you on their platform and collected the PST, they are the ones that will be reporting that PST. For box C, the first thing I'd like to note here is that commission refers to the commission you receive for collecting PST and filing and paying on time. These are not commissions that you charge or earn in your business. You're entitled to a commission of up to 6.6% and up to a maximum of $198, and you calculate your commission right on the return. If you're using eTaxBC, it's done for you automatically. If you have multiple PST accounts under a single entity, you'll receive commission on one account only. Box C is automatically calculated for you if you're completing your return in eTaxBC. If you're completing your return using the paper form, you will need to complete this calculation using the equations shown on the page. Box D is asking you to calculate the net amount of PST due on sales and leases before any adjustments. If you're using eTaxBC, the amount in this box is calculated for you. Step 3 of the return is for calculating any PST owing on taxable purchases you made but were not charged PST on. This is called self-assessing PST. You'll be adding any amount you owe to your total PST to be paid. It's important for you to know that this section is not to be treated as an input tax credit section. The PST is not like the federal goods and service tax. It does not flow through and it is not rebated back to you in any way. Note, if you're using eTaxBC, you will need to select yes or no for the question, do you only self-assess tax? In box E, enter the total cost of any taxable goods and/or services that you purchased or leased for business or personal use without paying PST. You are required to pay PST on everything you use for operating your business unless an exemption applies. If you paid PST on the item purchased or leased, or if a purchase qualified for an exemption, you would not include it here. Let me give you an example. You purchased chairs for your use in your office from an online seller and you were not charged PST. You would enter the cost of those chairs in box E. Just the cost. Any tax owing will be calculated in the next step. In box F, we're going to calculate and enter the PST that's due on the total cost of all taxable purchases and leases. To clarify, this is calculated based on the value you listed in box E. The general PST rate is 7%, but the tax rate can vary depending on the items purchased or leased, so please see our website for a full list of PST rates. Box G will be the total amount of PST you collected before any adjustments. And as usual, if you're using eTaxBC, the amount in this box is calculated for you. Step 4 is for calculating any adjustments to PST due. This is where you'll make any necessary adjustments and calculate the amount of PST you'll need to pay to the Ministry of Finance. Please note that you must keep supporting documentation for any adjustments you claim. We may request documentation to verify the adjustment amounts claimed, or they may be requested during an audit. Box H is for PST on bad debt. In this section, you'll enter the amount of PST remitted on goods sold on credit where the amount payable was later deemed uncollectible and written off as bad debt. If you're going to claim an amount here, it must be in the same reporting period that the amount owed was written off. If you don't claim this adjustment in the same reporting period, you will have to apply for a refund. And if any amounts previously written off as bad debt are later recovered, you then must remit the additional PST in the reporting period in which that PST was recovered. Box I is where you'll enter the amount of any PST that you refunded or credited to customers but have previously remitted to us. So for example, refunded PST to a customer to correct a billing error or when they returned an item that they had purchased from you. You must claim this adjustment in the same reporting period in which you refunded or credited your customer. If you don't claim it in the same reporting period, you again must apply separately for a refund. Box J is your total adjustments. If you're using eTaxBC, this amount will be calculated for you. We're now into the final step, where we will calculate the final amount of PST that's due. Box K will be the total amount of PST you owe. If you're using eTaxBC, the amount in this box is calculated for you. If the amount calculated is negative, a credit will be applied to your account. If after you have filed your PST return, you realize you made an error or forgot to include relevant information, you can correct this by filing an amended return. To complete an amendment, click the Amend button as shown circled on the screen. To amend your PST return in eTaxBC, follow the steps listed on the screen. Log on to your eTaxBC account. Select View Account for the appropriate account, and then select View or Amend Return on the line listing the date of the return you want to change. Select Amend, make your changes, and then in the Reason for Amendment box, explain why you're changing your return. Finally, select Submit. If you file your PST using a paper return, you'll have to download a blank return worksheet, which is a form BIN 400, and fill it out with your updated information. Before sending that in, make sure to check the amended box on the remittance form and then send the completed remittance form back to us. Now coming back to eTaxBC, after clicking Submit, the system will either show you a balance owing or a credit you'll receive. However, this is based on the amendment you just made. This figure is not including past amounts owing or credits. we suggest as a best practice is to allow the system 24 business hours to process your return. Log back in after 24 business hours to receive an accurate amount that you either owe or will be credited. If you require additional assistance, you can visit our website at gov.bc.ca/PST and look for the Guide to Completing the PST Return. It can be found in the Publications section, accessed from the left-hand column of the web page. You may also call our Taxpayer Services team at 1-877-388-4440 or email ctbtaxquestions@gov.bc.ca with specific inquiries. Thank you for listening, and we hope this video assisted you in filing your PST return.